also a volunteer at Internationalist Books and Community Center, which is a local radical bookstore on Franklin Street. And we helped organize Occupy Chapel Hill and other movements in the area. And I've been volunteering there for about 2 years. And I'm also the vice president of the Chapel Hill Youth Council, which is kind of like a voice for youth in the community. So I'm going to answer all the questions I got about civic engagement in high school, and it's going to kind of start with a story. So most likely everyone here has heard of Kony 2012. Anybody? Yeah. So it's this campaign by the group Invisible Children to make Kony famous through social media and postering. So basically, Joseph Kony is the head of the Lord's Resistance Army, which according to the Invisible Children's website, is a guerrilla group that's engaged in a violent campaign that abducts children from their homes and turns them into sex slaves and child soldiers. So Invisible Children released a video on March 5th that tells the story of Kony and begs Americans to save poor African children by sharing the video on Facebook, buying Kony action kits, and covering the night, which is an event that was scheduled to take place on April 20th. So on March 15th, Invisible Children's video about Kony went viral, and over 100 of my Facebook friends, most of whom go to Chapel Hill High, started posting it on Facebook. One girl said it made her cry, and a bunch of people said it changed their lives. In March, 12 million people mentioned the campaign on Twitter, and basically it seemed like everyone was talking about it, and everybody was ready to take the next step to stop it. So, according to the website, the April 20th event, Cover the Night, and I'm quoting here, is the day when we will meet at sundown and blanket every street in the city till the sun comes up. We will be smart and we will be thorough. The rest of the world will wake up to thousands of posters demanding justice on every corner. So when April 20th rolled around, Chapel Hill Carrboro City Schools was really prepared. 500 students RSVP'd that they were attending the event in our area on Facebook, and our school newspaper decided to cover the event. We sent out this email asking if we could follow people around who were putting up posters, but we didn't get any responses. So on April 21st, we sent a reporter to Franklin Street to document the accomplishments of all 500 people who were so vehemently against Kony that they RSVP'd to an event on Facebook. Our reporter, and she's a really good reporter, she interviewed the mayor for our last issue, it was awesome. She hunted all over Franklin Street for Kony posters, but she found only one at the Peace and Justice Plaza, which is actually the old site of Occupy Chapel Hill. So, I'm really bad at math, but basically the results of Invisible Children's campaign averaged out to 1/500th of a poster per person at Chapel Hill who was involved with the movement. These are the people that wept and sobbed over the video, whose lives were changed by the images of mutilated African children who were willing to donate valuable space on their Facebook profiles to sharing the video. But they didn't come through in real life. So, and Kony, wherever he is, because people aren't actually sure he's still in Uganda, may still be alive and killing innocent children. Although reports state that the Lord's Resistance Army isn't really an active threat to Ugandan civilians anymore. But because students by and large only watched the video and didn't go elsewhere for more unbiased sources of information, no one really knows this. So, okay, this story sounds kind of cynical, and it's only one example of civic engagement in high school. But it kind of emphasizes what I think the two main issues with high schoolers taking action are. The first problem is that high schoolers tend to do things that will get them the most social acceptance at the least cost to themselves. So it was easy to post a video on Facebook and get people to like it and comment on it, but it's more complicated to print out posters and walk the streets educating people about the issue. The second problem is the information biases. Because teens have been indoctrinated into thinking that people should teach us things, it's easy to forget that adults aren't always right, and that there are biases in the facts we learn. So with the Kony video, there was another side to the story, but few teenagers chose to investigate, so they remained misinformed. That's not to say there aren't really passionate, hardworking, motivated, curious teenagers who are working to change the community, but movements need leaders and followers, and most teenagers at this point are really good at being followers. So the key to getting students involved in social action is to create a movement that will get people involved with their friends and that will not be really messy or require too much effort. That sounds kind of lame, but it's possible, and it's a good way of getting teens interested in maybe next time getting a little more messy, especially once they see the results of their actions. So I've been like really hideously negative. So I'm gonna talk about an example of a really good piece of civic engagement at Chapel Hill High. So after Trayvon Martin was shot in a gated community by George Zimmerman, all kinds of debates opened up about racial profiling and stereotypes and gun laws. Basically, nobody knew all of the facts, but everybody had a lot of opinions. So in response, this group of English classes at Chapel Hill, taught by Michael Irwin, partnered with the Unity team, which is this social justice initiative led by students at the school. And they kind of had like a Trayvon Martin Day. They printed t-shirts and posters, which they actually put up, and encouraged students to wear hoodies in remembrance of Martin. And Unity Club also hosted a luncheon at the school with the goal of starting discussions about the incident while people kind of shared their food and talked to each other. So one of the Unity Club members told me that the most important part of the day that they wanted to emphasize was that the day not be about arresting George Zimmerman or getting justice when we didn't even know all the facts. He wanted the day to be about starting discussion and thinking about broader issues like stereotyping. So they brought in a local band, The Beast, to like talk about issues and perform for students, and students congregated and enjoyed the music and thought about these issues. That day did not bring Trayvon Martin back to life, and it didn't lead to the arrest of George Zimmerman, and it definitely didn't help lead to the capture of Joseph Kony. But it let at least 100 students think about an issue from a different point of view, and instead of blindly accepting facts and crying over an emotional viral video, they discussed stereotyping and thought about the way it affected them personally. So I thought that day was really important in showing a good example of civic engagement in high school. The partnership between students, teachers, and extracurricular organizations really combined people's passion with motivation and helped prevent really angry, misinformed students from stewing by themselves in this misdirected rage. I think in high school, the best kind of civic engagement is not necessarily one that has like a tangible or measurable goal, but I mean, that's fine, we'll take that. But it has to be one that motivates students to be intrinsically aware and active in their communities, because that is an effect that will have like tangible effects over time.